So I'm thinking this is my first chase event and we get tacos and tequila?
You know, I've thought about it since then. I think that's like, it's because it's way cheaper than repairing the house, or like a bottle of tequila and some tacos. Like, thank you for not crashing into my house.
Hi, you've reached the Caldwells. Please leave a message and we will get back with you just as soon as
Welcome to the RV Work-Life Balance Podcast with your traveling nomadic hosts, Sherry and Russ Caldwell.
Hey, that's us. We're living the dream, working from home, baby.
No matter where home is.
And you can too.
OMG. Back again.
We are.
I know. And actually, it's actually more surprising for me. So I'm glad you went, oh, that's good. That's real good. Because,
why is it?
Well, you know, so anyways, everyone, you know, I'm on parole now. So it turns out there's like podcast police. Who knew? Like, so I can't quite figure out who our good listeners are and our bad listeners. First off, we had some fantastic feedback, right? We had a lot of feedback.
Yes, we did.
It was
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, and then we had some other feedback that kind of got me in trouble with the podcast police. I know. So if you've been an avid listener,
he is a troublemaker, so
I'm on parole with the podcast police. Okay, so I'm only here under special pretenses here, and then they drag me away again. So if you don't know, go back and listen to a couple podcasts before. So apparently some of our podcast listeners called me out on our Magic 8 Ball. And
what?
I know, right? So if you remember, I was asking all sorts of questions of Magic 8 Ball, and I would go, okay, Magic 8 Ball, XYZ, what's happening? Right? And I would give the answer. Well, some people were calling me out on that.
Why?
Well, because apparently I was just using a water bottle and I wasn't using...
No, we have a Magic 8 Ball.
That's the part that, you know, I didn't realize till after we recorded the episode that we actually had our Magic 8 Ball. I know. So I'm here to apologize to anyone that's listening. I didn't have my actual Magic 8 Ball at the time. And I'm in trouble. So, but you know what? I've got this because, you know, as an avid Star Wars fan, I brought in, you know, my favorite character, R2-D2, to kind of, you know, confirm that it's all good. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, R2, am I good to go? Beep, boop, 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 boop. I'm like, yeah, I am. So.
Good job, R2-D2.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah. Well, I think that's R2. So, anyways, so my special effects, I'm still working on them. So, anyways, but we do have Magic 8 Ball. And
we do.
I know. I just didn't have it that night. So, you know, in the future, listen to that. It's kind of a Magic 8 Ball. It was a
That's
water
like
bottle.
Full disclosure, right?
Yeah, you know, giving away the magic trick, you know. So, anyways.
Okay.
So,
all right.
and let's start with cheers, that I'm here on parole.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Anyways. But anyways, again, thanks for the feedback. It's been awesome, you know. So it's been friends and people, we're brand new friends. And it's been great that have been reaching out.
Fantastic. I did not hear about the podcast police or whatever. So
yeah, embarrassing.
Thanks for all the positive comments and feedback.
So, all right, take away this bad dirt I started this with. What are we doing? This is like, normally I get to ask the question like, where are we? But like, there's been a lot going on. What are we doing? What have we been doing?
This is our special hot air balloon episode.
Is that a special effect?
It is.
Am I supposed to do something with that? Right? I'm going to fix that in post. Is that what that means?
Because we're talking about...
Is that air coming out, or is that's the fire going in, right?
The Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta.
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Whatever.
Like, we recently told stories where we had air come out of our tires. So I'm trying to figure out which special effect is that. So.
Okay, anyway. The Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. It's the largest hot air balloon festival in the world.
World. That's my special effect.
Okay. And we were there. We were right there.
We were. It was awesome.
For a week.
Well done.
It was amazing. Okay. So the proper intro: from a quaint launch of 13 balloons in 1972 to the massive 9-day celebration it has become today. This was the 51st Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta, and there were more than 500 hot air balloons.
From all over the world.
Can I do it again?
Sure. Okay, it's expanded. I like the special effects are getting better. I like that. Yeah. Which is interesting. Like you said, it's 9 days. We didn't do all 9 days. That's exhausting. No. We did like less than half of that, and it was exhausting. Like we did 5, 6 days. 4.
You're putting me on the spot again.
I know. Okay, we didn't do the whole
Tuesday,
thing.
Wednesday.
I don't know how you could do 9.
It was 7 days. We were there for 7 days.
No way.
Yeah.
I was not. You were.
We missed the beginning weekend.
Okay.
But then, yes, we started on Monday.
We were still driving there. Okay. Cool. I didn't know it was 9 days till you just said that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. But the funny thing is, like, this was another one of the things that wasn't really on our bucket list. In fact, I didn't know much about it. In fact, I used to call it like the Albuquerque Balloon Festival.
But it's a fiesta.
It's a fiesta.
That's right.
Which is much more fun to say.
Yep.
And it turns out other people actually like pulled us into this, right?
Yeah. Yep. Our friends, Kim and Pete, got us into this. And it started back in January of 2023. And the event is actually in October. So.
Where were we in January?
I don't remember. Oh, we were in Florida.
Oh, okay.
We were at ECBC, maybe?
Okay.
Yeah.
ECBC is East Coast Base Camp, just so you know.
Yeah.
So,
RV property out in
it's got to have base
New
camps,
Orlando.
everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. So Kim and Pete.
Yeah. They're like getting us in trouble all the time. Good job, guys.
Love them.
But it was awesome. It was one of their better calls. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So they have an inn.
Yeah.
Because Pete is from New Mexico, or went to high school in New Mexico, and he still has family there.
Mm-hmm.
They just call up one morning in January saying, "Hey, what are you doing in October?" I'm like, "I don't know. Let's get online and register for the Balloon Fiesta." I thought, what?
How hard could that be? Click order now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one-click ordering.
It was a thing. So, okay. I forget exactly what day it was in January, but we had this whole thing worked out. Kim and Pete and I, while Russ was working.
I think I was working because I remember, I wasn't really
we
paying
had to
attention.
be online at a certain very early time of the morning and on the phone and texting back and forth. And, this is the part of the festival park that we want to be in, the south lot, the east lot, the north lot. And if we don't get that, let's do this and this and that. Oh, my God. Total fail. It was sold out within 45 minutes. It was total chaos online.
That was like 8,000 old people pushed order now before you did.
Yeah, it was
It was
crazy.
like, you lost.
It was absolutely crazy.
We were the old people that didn't get it. Darn it.
Too slow.
Too slow.
So yeah, that was the first time we tried to get in through the front door, right?
Yeah.
With apparently 2 million other people
Yeah.
at the same time.
Yep.
It did sell out quickly, and the internet's froze. We did make it on a wait list. I don't even remember where, when, what days, but we made it on a wait list.
Those should be called loser lists, not wait lists. So.
But the interesting thing is eventually we did get in. I did get an
you probably
email
greased
saying,
some palms.
"You're
and
in." No,
you didn't pay people off? What?
Months later,
Oh.
months later, they sent an email and said, "You're in. Send your big bucks and take your space." But by then, we had already made other plans for the Balloon Fiesta.
We paid somebody else off to get us in.
That's right. We went in a group caravan with the Integra Coach Owners Association, which is one of those FMCA chapters that we talked about in the FMCA podcast. So we had made other plans to camp with Integra Coach.
Yeah. That was where we got to. So where we ended up was at a casino. That's where we've stayed at, yes. But the casino we stayed at was the Route 66 Casino RV Resort. And we were with, like Sherry mentioned here, we were with our Integra Coach Association. And it was actually a really nice park.
It was amazing.
Sometimes it's just
really
a
pretty.
big parking lot, but this was a nice park.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of services we didn't get to use because we were spending all our time at the Balloon Fest.
Big casino, resort-style pool and hot tub.
Yeah. So if you were just staying there, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But we were going to stay there so we could go to the Albuquerque Balloon Fest, which was 30 miles away.
Yeah.
So, which if you're going there once, if it's like
out.
a one-day thing, it is awesome. Go do it. We were doing it because we were going to work there with the crew there. And so we did it. You went 4 times. I went 3 days, right? Something like that. Maybe it was five for you, 4 for me. So that 30 miles adds up. And when it's 4 in the morning, it adds up. So it's painful.
Yeah.
There was a lot of traffic. So
And what it was, because we couldn't get into the Balloon Fiesta, where they do have RV campgrounds around the Balloon Fiesta park, couldn't get into that. Another way to go is to go in a group caravan where these different groups have, every year they come in as a group and park together. And there are some groups on the Balloon Fiesta grounds, like fantasy RV tours, adventure caravans, some of the brand manufacturers. We had friends with Newmar that were right up in the Fiesta Park campgrounds.
Lucky. Good job.
And we heard about the Monaco group, which is
Yeah.
open.
We heard that like the day before we got here.
Right. And then they called us the next day to say, hey, guys, come park with us on the fence.
Oh, it felt so bad. They had a great spot and we were already locked in.
Yeah. But it was a lot of fun to park with the Integra Coach Owners Association. And they always had, so it's a group parking experience. And there's events and dinners and all kinds of things. And then they generally have times where, in our case with Integra, because we were so far away, they hired a coach, a bus, to take people into, I think there was a morning event and then an afternoon event and then another morning event. But then there were other activities at the casino RV resort. So it was really fun, but it was kind of a distance. So now we know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to try again next time to be in the Balloon Fiesta Park.
That's right.
Campgrounds right there in the middle of the action.
I want to reiterate what you said, which is we did have a great time with the Integra group, right?
Did.
They served fantastic meals there in the conference center there.
Yeah.
So we had
Catered
awesome meals in the conference center there. And it was great to meet other people we had met before and other things. So we did have a great time. Old friends we had seen in other events. So I do not want to put down, that event was awesome.
So fun.
And in fact, if we were not working one of the balloons like we were,
right,
it would have been perfect. It really was. We were just kind of the odd team out because we were having to drive a lot.
We didn't end up going in the bus with the Integra Coach Owners Association. We had some other things going on, which we'll get to.
I've given away a little bit. I'm so sorry. This is why I'm on parole. So yeah.
But now that we know what to do, we'll be next time in the Balloon Fiesta Park. Up close, we'll see balloons landing amongst the RVs. There was even a crash landing.
I don't think they said crash. I think you said crash. Any landing where everybody walks away, not a crash landing.
That is good.
So,
and
all good.
I should be more
I
sensitive.
nailed
and
it,
careful.
is what he said.
But there is video evidence of a balloon taking out a pole on top of an RV. I mean,
Wow.
it happened.
Yeah.
Thank goodness they did not land on the RV. They kind of skid.
And yet you still want
to
to
a
have us
stop.
park there, right?
I know.
So you're like, and
Well,
they crash into it. Like, let's go there next year.
We don't
I'm
have
like,
a flagpole. Come
not
on.
yet. Now I want one. Apparently,
that was kind of extraordinary.
it's a balloon collection device, is what it sounds like. This sounds awesome.
We'll help you down. Poke.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right. I want one of those now.
So anyway, in the months from when we tried to get in, and then we did get in with the Integra Coach Owners Association group, we had a little help. We had an incentive, a push
Yep.
from our friends Mark and Sue with our Journey in Miles. They
YouTube
have
channel.
a YouTube channel.
Yep.
And they had gotten in touch with us and said, you guys need to apply for media credentials with the Balloon Fiesta. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you're used to that. You've had media credentials in the past doing articles and stuff like that. But if you haven't seen their YouTube videos of this, they have a fantastic YouTube video about Albuquerque.
Yes, their experience
It was
last year.
great.
Yeah.
It was great. So take a look at that. So they encouraged because of their experience. We loved that. But yes, it was a smart call for pushing you on that. That was great.
And I just hadn't thought about it.
Yeah.
But they reached out and said, you do this. And I said, okay. And so we applied for the media credentials, and with an assist from NIRVC, who will be writing an article for, and we'll include that in the show notes when it comes out or on Facebook or whatever. We were approved for media passes, which included free parking for the event, all sessions, free passes into the Balloon Fiesta, all sessions. And there was a media tent and accommodations, not sleeping accommodations, but media accommodations are the hospitality tent where they had food,
Yes.
internet access, and the potential. We could have signed up for a balloon ride.
Yeah.
As media, with our week there, timing and circumstance, the weather and all, we were having such a great time being on the chase crew for our balloon, which we'll talk about in a minute, that we didn't end up going up this year. And that's fine. We had such a great time. So that's still on our bucket list for next time.
Yeah, and that was a good call, I think. You got to go an extra day before me, which is great.
Yep.
And we'll get to that story because you had an awesome day that day. But we ended up at the, to get that whole thing started, we ended up at the Route 66 casino with our Integra friends. And we basically got to be locked in there for a few days, which is great.
And the group event actually started on Wednesday.
Okay.
But we, because of our work schedule, we needed to be in place Sunday, right?
Right.
So called ahead, and we were able to get into the Route 66 Casino RV Resort 3 days early to be in place.
Yeah. I decided, so sometimes we go, and I just work the entire week, and we do things, what we call the sunset adventures. We do stuff after hours.
Yeah.
But if you don't know about the Balloon Festival or the Fiesta, there's two phases. There's early morning, which we'll get into, and then there's night stuff, and then there's this gap in the middle. And that
night stuff.
Okay, I'm not trying to be dirty or anything, but what is going on here? I'm going back to jail. What's going on here? So anyways, it didn't really fit well with my work schedule. So I worked the Monday and Tuesday of the week we rolled in here.
And
I packed in all this work, and I told everybody I'm taking Wednesday through Friday off. And I took that time off, which is such a smart move.
Vacation time.
Yeah. Vacation.
Yay.
So, and that was a good call because some places we go, it doesn't matter. We can do it after hours. But boy, this place needed all day off. So I did it. And it was a smart call. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah. It was amazing. So while Russ worked and, furiously got caught up and in a position where he could take a couple days off, I went into the Balloon Fiesta on Monday from the Casino RV Resort, Route 66 Casino RV Resort. So I went in Monday. I did not go in at 4 o'clock in the morning. I went in about 9:30 in the morning just to check it out. And just, oh my gosh, walking into the Balloon Fiesta, wow.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I love that sound.
I have so much editing I got to do in this thing. But yeah, I was jealous because, I still had to work, but you didn't go in. It was normally that's what you do when we go somewhere, right?
Scouting it out,
you
right?
go scout.
Yeah.
And so it was one of those, and I knew you were going to come back with some cool stories already. So tell me what you found on that first day.
Okay. So this was Monday morning. I went in. I checked in at the media tent to see what was going on and learn all the scoop there. That was fun. Made friends. Got all the info. And then yeah.
You went shopping. Come on now.
I did.
You went shopping.
I did. There's a lot of vendors at the Balloon Fiesta. And so that was really cool. And yeah, I did because I wanted to get the official T-shirts and hats and all the things. Also, I had a very specific purpose in that last year when we were earlier this year, we were actually in Albuquerque for a week. On our way across country. We stayed at Enchanted Trails, met Bob and Lisa.
They were shooting at
in the TARDIS,
Disney movie there.
All of that.
Yep.
We've talked about that before.
I think so.
I think. But anyway, when we were in Albuquerque last year, we went to Old Town, bought some things for the RV decor, and also bought a balloon, a little balloon, kind of a fabric thing that you put up outside on your mirror and it spins. So it's a balloon spinner. And so, yeah, that was really cool. I was all ready for the Albuquerque Balloon Festival because we did know that we were coming back around for that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we were in Devil's Tower. And we lost the balloon.
It was a super windy day. Beat the crap out of the balloon.
It just exploded.
Yeah. And the worst part is that balloon had a big bead, like a 1 or 2 inch bead that was beating on the rig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like
tapping
on the rig to remind us that the wind is high out here.
Yeah.
And some of its little balloon sides flew off and we couldn't find it. It
Never
could have been
to be found
the
again.
Aliens that took it away.
It could have been.
Yeah, it was Devil's Tower, so you never know.
We had that balloon spinner for a couple of months.
Yeah. It was cool while we had it.
Away.
RIP, rest in peace, balloon.
So one of my priorities was to go find a new balloon spinner. Yeah. And I did. And it's very cool.
And bags of other stuff. Come on now.
Yeah, and other stuff. Yeah. You got to have your magnets. You got to have your...
Shirts
they had alpaca wool vendors,
I don't even know how alpaca fits into this whole story.
Because it was cold in the morning.
So you're telling me
hat
every cold place
gloves.
you go, we're going to bring back alpaca stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I don't know. But anyway, so yes, I went shopping. The interesting thing I learned on Monday is that throughout the Balloon Fiesta week, they have an AM and a PM schedule. Not every day, but like on the weekends, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, they have, no, not Sunday. Maybe the Sunday before.
You're just winging it right now.
AM and PM sessions. The AM session opens up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, which we'll talk about. And the PM session, the night session, starts about 5 o'clock PM, I think. they open up.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why Google's
I'm
your
guessing.
friend. Yeah.
I didn't realize that between the two sessions, or if there's not an evening session, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that whole park shuts down.
Yeah.
I mean, 10:30 in the morning, the vendors close up.
Slam those tents closed.
The balloons are gone.
Funnel
It's
cake? No.
over.
Yeah, you're
right.
out of there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You be there before 10:30 if you want the funnel cake.
That's right.
Don't be messing around with the balloon because you're not going to get a funnel cake.
Yeah.
So anyway, that Monday that I went in, I got there about 9:30, and everything was shutting down like by 10:30.
That's why the credit card didn't burn up, because they were like, get out, lady.
I
we're
only had
closing."
limited time,
That's
so
right.
I got what I got.
That's right.
And then I got kicked out, and I went on errands. I found the Total Wine in Albuquerque.
That's a sponsor alert right there. So hey, Total Wine, if you're listening, feel free. We'd love that sponsor because we do a lot of business there.
Total Wine.
Yeah,
Cross
we do.
country. Where's the Total Wine?
That's right. So
And the grocery store.
That's
So that
right.
was Monday morning.
yeah. So it got real serious on Tuesday, though, right?
Oh my goodness.
I was still at work day Monday and Tuesday. I'm usually the first one to get up every morning very early, making the coffee, blah, blah, blah. But Tuesday, I warned her. I was like, when you get up early, do not wake me up. This is my one joyous day that you're like, you got to get up before me and go to the balloon festival, and I'm going to sleep in an extra 30 or 40 minutes, whatever it was.
It was still dark.
You've never seen that, it seems like. You were like, what the? It's dark outside.
I'm not really a morning person.
No.
But Monday, we kind of caught up with Kim and Pete and got the marching orders as far as the balloon that we were crewing for this week, this amazing week. And I was supposed to be there like at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Did you make it?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Ish. 5-ish.
Traffic was not such a thing on Tuesday as it ended up being later in the week.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, I went in super early, still dark, and I met up with our friends, Kim and Pete, at the balloon. And the balloon reveal was Hamlet, the world's largest flying pig. Yay!
The pink pig. It was awesome.
So I met up with Kim and Pete and the Hamlet captain and crew to chase this big pink pig hot air balloon.
Check out the show notes if you want to see pictures of this. So it's incredible.
And it was amazing. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I was still half asleep. It was very cold. I did get a cup of coffee at the media tent.
Well, that's good. That's good.
And then I showed up on the field for Hamlet to meet Hamlet, the flying pig.
Yeah.
Our friend Pete, actually, and another new friend, Raul, got to fly in the pig that morning.
Wait, I knew Pete got to fly. Did
Yep.
Raul got to fly?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
Pete, Raul, and Doug, the captain.
How did I not know this? We spent all this time with Raul.
Because you weren't there.
Oh, that's sick burn. That's not cool. I knew Pete got to go, but wow. That's cool.
And for that, starting from Tuesday, I think, we had the daily posting of pictures and the story of Hamlet the pig and chasing on Facebook.
Check that out.
So, yeah. So it was just amazing. So we get Hamlet all rolled out and aired up, and they set off, and then we get in the chase vehicles. There's two, and follow the pig. Set out, and you got to keep an eye on the pig and figure out where it's going down, and oh, you guys, it was just really exciting, really intense, and just a whole lot of fun. So anyway, the landing on Tuesday, which was my first chase and rescue mission, that pink pig flew outside and followed the air currents, and then the pig is going to land where a pig is going to land, narrowly missed a beautiful adobe home outside of Albuquerque and landed in the center of this dirt road.
And it wasn't an accident. Like our
No.
pilot, Doug, is amazing.
Doug,
So
yeah.
he nailed it. Like
Yeah.
that was not like, oh my goodness. It was
No.
like, he's got this.
Yep.
I
There's
wasn't
a
even
dirt
there.
road. Let's land there.
But I heard the story like 10 times from the 10 different people the day I didn't get to go. So I know. And after watching Doug do this, it was like, okay, this guy's the best.
He's a master. He's
Yeah.
been flying this pig for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So he missed the adobe house and landed nicely in the dirt road.
Yep.
We managed to find him and get there and pull up just in time and save them. And then
What?
the owner of that house that they narrowly missed came out, and they were so wonderful, so excited about the balloon landing basically in their backyard. And there were 2 kids about middle school age, and they just had a great time. The kids helped us roll up the balloon and put it away, put Hamlet away. And the homeowner, the lady of the house, brought out tacos and tequila shots for the entire crew.
That's incredible. Like that's how you want every flight to go.
It was amazing.
Tequila and tacos.
And then the school bus came along the road, and we're all like waving them off. Oh, they're not
These kids
ready
aren't
to come yet.
going.
We need them. We need
That's
their
right.
help.
That's right.
So the kids went to school a little bit late. I offered to write them a note because I am
You're
a
good at
school
that.
note master.
Yeah.
And they had the pictures, and it was just so cool. But yeah, so I'm thinking this is my first chase event, and we get tacos and tequila?
You know, I've thought about it since then. I think that's like, it's because it's way cheaper than repairing the house, or like a bottle of tequila and some tacos. Like, thank you for not crashing into my house. But no, that's awesome. In fact, we heard a little bit more of that story like a day or 2 later, right?
That's right. That's right. They actually have awards.
Yep.
Because the whole Albuquerque thing, with the balloon fiesta and 500 balloons lighting off and landing all over the city, the local residents are really involved.
Yeah.
And hoping to catch balloons or help balloons or whatever. So our homeowner, where we landed that day with tacos and tequila lady and the kids, they
Won an
award for being the most hospitable homeowners.
That story was incredible amongst all the other balloons because, it turns out that in the fields around there, they put like white markers if it's okay
X's.
to land and things like that. So there's like color indicators of like it's okay to land here and other places where it's not, either for safety or whatever reasons.
Right.
But not
There's
everybody.
no fly zones or
and
no
sometimes-
landing zones.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like it's okay to land here, but when somebody brings you tequila and tacos, that's like
And
you
just-
can land here, and by the way, there's a taco truck with tequila. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So,
No, that was just out of her kitchen. And she was
Yeah.
like, you all come back. You jump in the pool when you're done. I was like, oh,
that's
that was
awesome.
fun. It was awesome. So they did get awarded or thanked the entire balloon festival at the pilots meeting the next morning.
That's
They
awesome.
announced and showed the picture, and it was just so fun.
So imagine Sherry coming back that first day on Tuesday saying,
Tacos and tequila,
I had
baby.
tacos and tequila. This is great. And I'm sitting here finishing my job going, that sounds awesome. So we roll to Wednesday, which was my first vacation day.
Yay.
And I get to get up at 3:30 in the morning and
Right.
drive with you.
Vacation
So-
time, honey.
That's right. So we did it was vacation, which is always nice. And I was excited about that. And then we get there and you were explaining park here and let's go in this gate. And you had it all worked
Right.
out because you'd already done it all, which is cool.
And we had that media parking pass, which was magic.
That was cool. Very cool. And then we get in the gate, and then the first thing you want to do is like, let's go stand in this line. Why were we standing in that line?
Oh, this is
Behind- at a
another
tent.
secret of the Balloon Fiesta.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing to collect pins, PINS, little, those little pins that you
Yeah.
just put on hats or T-shirts or whatever.
We'd seen that at the Olympics, by the way. That there was a
That's
pin
right.
collecting for the Olympics too.
Like
so,
that.
just like that.
Collector's pins.
Yeah.
So the 2023 Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta had a series of special limited edition pins. And they only gave out, there were 2 this year. One was the overall event pin for the 2023 Balloon Fiesta. The other was a special, it was the Eclipse pin.
Yep.
Which we'll talk about in a minute. But the Eclipse pin. So these were limited edition collector's pins, which, okay. But then Kim wanted the pins but couldn't leave the thing. So
we stood in line
okay,
for
we'll
pins.
stand in line and get the pins.
Yeah.
And that's what we did.
And this is kind of a bonus because it turns out from the Integra group, we actually got the pins for the event already.
Yeah.
And so we actually stood in line and they ran out of those. So they said, we have the Eclipse pins. Luckily, that worked out great because it was the 2 we didn't have. So we actually ended up getting all the right pins. So
and for us and
shared
for
it
Kim
with
and
our
Pete.
friends. Yeah.
And it is a big thing because they only put out so many of these special pins. And you have to be at the tent in line, the official Balloon Fiesta merch tent, in line by the time it opens. It opens at 5:00 a.m.
Painful.
So we had to get there I think we got there at 4:45.
Yeah.
And you stand in line. They come out at 5 and give you a number. They count out how many pins are available and what you want. And we got the ticket.
Yep.
The golden ticket.
Exactly.
For the event pins, but not the Eclipse pins. And that worked out later.
So we got the pins and you got to take me to the media tent, which was super cool.
For breakfast.
That was my favorite part. when you get up so early, we didn't get time to make coffee. We didn't get time to have breakfast. We just got in the car and just drove like hell to the event.
Yeah.
But the media tent served hot breakfast. So that was cool.
Breakfast burrito.
And we got to meet cool people every time we were there, which was neat. We got to meet other media people that were doing different kinds of photography and interviews and things like that. It was great.
Yeah. It was so interesting talking to the different media people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a fact. For you.
Okay, fast fact.
The breakfast burrito is said to have originated at the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta in the 1970s.
Okay.
Does that not just rock your world?
I love the breakfast burrito. It's okay. I'll go with that. Okay. This is off the cuff little facts there. I like it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So we did that, and then we immediately had to rush out and go meet the crew. Right.
Yep. Like about 5:30.
Yeah, and I had no idea what to
6
do.
o'clock?
I had to sign all the paperwork you had signed the day before. It says that if I hurt myself, it's my fault, all that kind of stuff, right?
Russ was thrown right in to the chase crew.
Yeah.
Dude, take this rope. Dude, do this, do that.
Well, and the crew chief was this woman named Sherry. And
which
her middle
is very
name
confusing.
is the same as my wife's middle name, too. So I was like, okay, this is super confusing when people yell Sherry. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what the heck? So
Yeah.
there was a lot of confusion for me.
Yes, I can see that. That your wife was not in charge.
Yeah.
It was the other Sherry.
I know.
And she was awesome. But, okay, so Wednesday, we had the people that went up in the balloon in Hamlet were NASA media people.
Yeah. Space agency people. It was cool.
Yes. So all of their journey and everything is going to be on NASA website, nasa.gov.
Yeah, they were doing research. They're actually a group that does a lot of research around different kinds of balloons, not just kind of the balloons that we were at for the festival, a lot of high altitude balloons, things like that. But they were doing this research. And so, yeah, they did the write-ups and photos and stuff. And they said that all of this is going to be put on nasa.gov. So when we have those links, we'll share those as well in the show notes.
Yeah,
So,
it was very cool. And oh my gosh. Okay, so Wednesday, the second day, was not landing by a friendly Adobe home and tacos and tequila. Wednesday, things went a little different. And Hamlet the pig and crew had a rough landing on skillfully set down
That's
by
right. Doug
Captain Gant.
chose that spot because some people landed in the street. So Doug did not land in the street, which is good.
It was a crazy day.
Yeah.
But Hamlet the pig ended up landing on this little dirt path amidst brambles and sticker bushes and probably like snakes and lizards
snakes
and stuff
everywhere.
like that too.
Snakes everywhere.
And right on the edge of this empty riverbed. So there was a precipice. And it was crazy. So poor Hamlet and crew. We did get there, the chase vehicles. We got there, but they were in such a state because we couldn't lay the balloon down in all those brambles and mess. So
normally, so I had missed the tacos and tequila, wonderful land on the street day. My first day was, oh my God, we're in a hot mess here. And
you and the media people, NASA media
NASA
people,
and all this, like, welcome to day one. And so normally you deflate, you let it down, and you lay the whole balloon down, and then you have to do this complicated rolling procedure. Where we were, it was not possible to do that. So the pilot, Doug, had kept it inflated, but kept the balloon sitting on the ground, and we as a team had to figure out what to do. Some of the teams we had just passed on the street were trying to do it on the street, which closed the road, and it takes an easy 30 minutes minimum to roll this balloon. Even if it took us more because our balloon's big, but a small balloon, it takes a long time. So we realized it was a farm, open field, probably half a football field away. Yeah. So Doug decided, hey, I'm going to inflate. You guys are going to hold on to the basket. We're going to navigate this over there manually. And like you said, we had to get across. I don't know if it was a river bed, but it was like definitely a channel where the runoff waters ran. It was deep. It was easy 10 feet deep.
Fortunately, it was dry.
It was dry. But you had to get through, like you said, serious brambles and sticker bushes. It was very difficult. And we had to get it not only across those two things, then there was a fence to get it over. And so it was complicated. We had like 10 people navigating this thing on the ground. Right. And then we got it to the fence and got them over.
And I just want to say, I got to the ravine, and then I'm like, oh, and everybody's climbing down this 10-foot drop and going across the river, holding onto the balloon and going up the other side. Yeah. And I'm like, somebody's got to come back to this side to get the vehicles and get around there. So I'm just going to stay over here and take
mental
the pictures.
Excuse. I'm going to stay over here. So that was a good call, actually.
Yeah,
very
it was.
Call.
I got great pictures. You'll see them on the Facebook.
Yeah. So we get it across that. We get it across that fence, and we had like 8 or 10 people to get over the fence. We got the balloon over there, and luckily there was some other people to help us over there and pull it down and get it sitting over there. Again, still inflated. And so we started to help people over. And I took the role of trying to help people over, and that's where I kind of got injured.
First day.
Yeah. First day was exciting, and then I did something to my shoulder. I helped everyone get over, except I couldn't get over because I hurt my shoulder at that point. So
lifting.
Yeah. I had to do the long walk all the way around. But anyways, it was interesting because it was kind of cool about how you have to figure out. I never knew you could steer these things. And there is some steering. There is a little bit of it, right? Not just the up and down, but it is still very limited. I mean, Mother Nature controls that balloon more than anyone, right?
Pig's going to land where pig's going to land.
That's right. But when she
even as skillful as Doug Gant
That's
is.
right.
Yeah.
So once it's on the ground, though, you got to like figure out a strategy. And the team did a great job figuring it out, and we got it over there. But it was my first day was not tacos and tequila and awesome, but it was still really fun.
It was throwing people over this fence into this field.
That's right.
And then the drivers came back, and we jumped into the chase vehicles and went around and found you. We ended up on this dead end road, and all the neighbors came out and said, okay, this is what you do. Go down here. They've opened the gate for you to get onto that field. By the time we get out there, you talk to the farmer there.
Because I had the long walk around because I could not get over the fence because I'd pulled something in my shoulder, I met the farmer or the landowner there, and he let me in the gate on the far end, and he told me the story. He's like his wife was very like bummed because the first couple of days They normally like to have the balloons use their
Yeah.
fields, but none had
We
landed.
were over there having tacos and tequila on the other side of the city.
And I said, "Oh, really? Has it been any better?" Because we had just put our balloon there, and there was one other balloon over there. He's like, "Yeah, we went from 0 to 12." So he had
they
12.
caught a dozen balloons in their field.
Him and his wife were loving it. So they thought it was great the balloons were coming down there. So it's exciting for the people that live there as well. So
just so cool. The whole community gets into it.
Yeah. So, okay. So I'm injured. We go home, it was still fun, and I didn't complain. Well, I always complain a little bit. I whine a little bit, looking for some sympathy there. But, it was still fun, even though I was injured. And then, so Thursday, another super early day, and we roll in there, and it's super windy that day.
Yeah.
Right? So what happened?
And I'd also mention that by Thursday, which was the first night for us where there was going to be an evening session, the traffic was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just getting to the Balloon Fiesta Park at 5:00 in the morning for the opening ceremonies and everything.
Yeah.
It was windy.
Yeah. Really windy. And that caused us to not be able to actually take off that day, right? We did the static stuff. So I got to see a launch on Wednesday, but Thursday was super windy. So they do what's called static, which means they just keep them on the ground, but they inflate them, which is actually pretty fun too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you want to fly when you can, but it turned out because there's so many people come to this event.
Yeah.
When you're holding the lines or holding the balloon, you become this like semi-rock star for a little while because everybody wants to come. One, that it's really exciting to do that. But two, I don't know if we talked about this, but
we haven't.
It turns out, we didn't know this, but every one of the balloons have trading cards. Mm-hmm. And you get to, when we first got there, they said, by the way, here's a whole bunch of you get a handful of trading cards and, 50 or 100 of them. And you're supposed to be handing them out. And so the kids and the adults collect these things. And so we had a Hamlet, the flying pig, trading card.
You were wrangling the pig.
Yeah, while handing out cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was great because the excitement when people come up and said, "Do you have a card?" And then you could see they've got a fistful of these other cards for all the other balloons.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And they're trading them. And it's really, really cool. So that was neat.
That's something we didn't realize when I first entered the Balloon Fiesta that first day. I wasn't prepared for the fact that you walk through the gate, past the vendor's row, and you are right on the field. And, there's tens of thousands of people, 100,000 people.
Yeah.
I need to look that up. But just walking all around the balloons, and you can walk right up to these balloons. And
we were having to get people to not walk on the balloons.
Right.
Yeah.
There's certain points when the balloon is ready to launch that you kind of have to do crowd control and part the crowd, and have people watching for the ropes, and the basket can slide forward and very heavy, and so it's just amazing to be on the field and you walk right up to these balloons. And they have the whole balloon trading card thing. For every balloon has its own card, and they're really cute. We'll put them in the show notes for Hamlet. And and the kids are so excited, and a lot of times people don't even realize. So that's one of the things we're going to point out to people. You go get your balloon, your trading cards, because they have the picture.
Yep.
It has some info about the balloon itself, and it's just fiesta. Oh, it's crazy and fun, and holding on to that pig so he doesn't go anywhere, and just so fun.
So Thursday, it was very windy. We did the static balloons where they stand there. It was super fun. But because of the wind, they canceled the evening stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So we got to sneak home,
which really worked out.
I was there one day and I was already exhausted, right? So we're exhausted because we had to get up again at 3:30 in the morning, which is like, that shouldn't be a time, 3:30. It's just not real,
But it's balloon time, baby.
Yeah. And then we also had a dinner Like, is that Thursday night?
Thursday night, because we didn't have an evening session that we
That's
needed
right.
to be at. We
got
were
to
able to
attend.
stay at the RV resort and attend the catered dinner with Integra at the casino.
Yeah. So
And
that was
it was really fun.
that was good luck
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Okay, so Friday,
Up
again,
at 3:30.
another 3:30, and this is where we started to realize the traffic just gets worse as you
Yeah.
get closer to the
Leaving
weekend.
early. Yeah.
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 So we roll in. I make sure we hit the breakfast because I'm a big breakfast fan, and at 3:30 in the morning you got to give me something.
Yep.
So we hit that up, and then what happened?
The crew chief, the other Sherry, went up in the balloon with Captain Doug. It was kind of a quick morning. We set out in the fire truck.
So the fire truck. I don't think we've mentioned
We have
it yet.
not talked about
So
our chase vehicles.
The chase vehicles are really cool. These are the vehicles that you go around. You got to track the balloon, and because you don't know where they're going. They're not really driving it
Attract the
too
balloon.
much. Our chase vehicle is an old fire truck, right? A 70s fire truck named Clifford, the big red fire truck kind of thing.
Owned by Pete's brother, who lives in New Mexico and
That's right.
bought this
Steven
old
Silva.
1975 fire truck
Yeah.
specifically to be a balloon chase vehicle.
It's super cool. So
Oh.
Steve and you and who else was up front?
Oh, Christopher,
That's right.
the nephew, Steven's son.
They were living the high life in the front. The
Yes,
rest
the
of us
three of
rode in
us.
the back in the cold wind as we hit speed bumps at high speed, launched around. But it was the whole back end of the truck was benches and stuff. It was fun. Yeah. So we drive around in this truck, and the bells and the horns are going. It was awesome.
And you got to keep an eye on that pig. And
Yeah.
they're chasing around, figuring out where it might land and how to get there, and the New Mexico or the Albuquerque traffic and roads and everything.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
So it turns out, kind of cutting to the chase a little bit, in that day, we didn't go very far that day. It was actually a beautiful day. The wind was very low, and so the rides for everyone that day was phenomenal. So the other Sherry had a amazing ride with Doug in the balloon, but
Yeah.
they didn't actually go as far the first couple of days, and they landed in a parking lot of a technical college there. And it was actually right near the Balloon Festival.
And first we went and we stopped in the RV park.
Okay.
Because Stephen thought that Doug was going to bring the pig down in the RV park, which was a thing that happened all week long. We got to be in that park next year or next time. So we stopped in the RV park. There were other balloons that landed right between the RVs. It was very exciting. And then, they caught a little shift in the wind and ended up a couple blocks over at the technical college.
Yeah. So we got there, and the reason was, like, I've mentioned this in previous one. I'll go quickly through this. There's a concept. It's a term called the Albuquerque box, and it's really the ability for the way the mountains, and I think in the valley there in Albuquerque, the way the wind works typically, not all the time, but typically at a certain low altitude, the wind will go one direction. And then if you go higher up, it goes the opposite direction. So if you're piloting this, you can go up to the first level and you'll go, say, to the right in this case. And then as you then rise up, you'll end up going back to the left, and then you go back down, you end up coming back to where you were. So it's just being able to control that. I guess many times that's true. I don't know the proportion, whether it's most times, but many times that's true. And it did happen on one of the days we were there. And so that gives some confidence of like where you think you can land. So that idea of I want to land in an RV park is not because, randomly the balloon goes anywhere. There is a pattern to the wind.
And skill.
That's right. And you're right. And you got to know, you got to get to the altitude. You got to hold it. You got to know when to go down. And there is some ability to control the direction of the balloon a little bit with some of the ropes that he would pull down. It would open up vents and stuff like that. But it's still nothing like an airplane, right? You're not really controlling everything, but there is a little bit of control. And so that Albuquerque box is like famous. That's why it's such a big festival, because there is a lot more control than most places.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
We landed in that technical college. It was very cool that Captain Doug Gant, a bunch of students, technical students, came out, and he gave an impromptu balloon hot air balloon class to these future pilots or technical guys while we rolled up the pig, put the pig away, put Hamlet away.
Yep.
So it was just amazing. So then we packed up the balloon and headed back to the Balloon Fiesta Park. Russ and Pete or Raul or anyway, two of the guys went back to fill the propane.
Yep.
For the next day's ballooning while I hung out in the field. And
that was pretty cool. So it turns out because it's such a big balloon festival, they actually have like almost 45 stalls, could be more, but there's quite a few stalls that the balloonists take their tanks over to inside their baskets to refill the propane. So they can take 45 teams at a time loading them up. It's crazy.
Well, because there were 500 balloons.
Yeah. Right? And it takes a while to load that propane into each one of them. So, and they have fire trucks over there and there's music playing all the time. It's a
whole process.
It was really fun. And they can only take a couple of people. There's a limited number of people who can be there for safety reasons. And it was neat. I got to do that like 3 times. So I was becoming an expert kind of thing. It was neat.
So yeah, after that, we went out for lunch with Pete and Kim. We went back to the Silva Ranch and met Mama Silva, the matriarch.
So yeah, Mama Silva, especially known as the Clifford, the Big Red Truck sponsor.
Yeah.
Because it's all about her sewing center. She does all sorts of sewing. So yeah. So, and she was fantastic to meet. We got a chance to meet her, and she's amazing. So the whole family there is incredible.
Just amazing.
Yeah.
Pete has 2 brothers in New Mexico, and then the kids and Mama.
Yeah, great
Mama
family.
Ann. So yeah, and then after all of that, we went back to Charlie to try to get a nap because Friday PM, dun da da da.
Lots of traffic. It was even worse. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
And on the PM sessions, they didn't launch the balloons, but they had a whole evening program where we put up the balloons and they glowed. It was the balloon glow, which means they light them up.
Yeah, all in patterns and all at the same time. So it's amazing to see all the balloons light up at night. Yeah. It was really cool. And again, we got to do the handing out of the cards and all that fun stuff.
The pig, crowd control.
It was almost more special at night because they were lighting up for the kids to see them get so excited, you know.
Yeah.
It was
because the balloons weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just
it was a forest of balloons.
Yeah.
You know, if you were walking around, it must have been incredible because we didn't get to do that. We were basically crewing that one, but it was so cool, like a forest of balloons. It was so cool
at sunset. Yeah. It's beautiful. So that was followed by a drone show.
Yeah,
while we were packing up Hamlet, big drone show.
That was actually very cool.
It was.
Yeah,
we got some pictures of that, but the pig was our primary occupation.
We were trying to put the pig away while the drone show was going on because when you're crew, you do the job. But we did get some video and some pictures. We'll try to share a lot of that in the show notes. So take a look at that.
And after that, there were fireworks.
Which normally we think fireworks are pretty good. This was a great show. And they did something we'd never seen at a fireworks show.
Yep.
So it was incredible. So they did this great show. Again, we were working while it was happening, but tells you a lot that we thought it was cool and we were not even watching the whole time.
Some of us, stepped back and took some pictures and video.
Some of us. But they did some of these huge fire things at the bottom at the end of the event, which was so cool. So they did a great job. It wasn't just, quote, fireworks. This was a bang-up job. So good job there.
Fireballs.
That's right.
That's what that was.
So then anyways, so we get through that Friday night, that was still cool. And then Saturday morning, again, brutal early. We had to roll in. And the traffic, we couldn't even believe it. We thought it couldn't get worse. It got way worse. And we thought we went in even earlier.
Yep.
Got it in worse traffic, and we went in
sneaking in different ways, flashing the media pass.
Yeah, we were stuck in so much traffic, but go early. Yeah. But we did the same thing. We hit the media, did the breakfast. They didn't have coffee that day, did they? On the Saturday, they ran out of coffee. How do you run out of coffee at like 4:30 in the morning? But we did all that, and then we decided that day that we were going. They had already had extra people. They had more family members come in, so we didn't have to be crew.
Yeah.
And we decided we wanted to see the rest of the show.
Yep.
So we checked in on our friends, and we wandered away and got to see a whole bunch of the other show that we hadn't seen. So all the other
Yeah.
balloons, right?
Yeah, there's a schedule of morning events. There's the dawn patrol with a certain number of balloons that light up and actually launch to kind of test the winds in that Albuquerque box.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pilots meeting. Then they have the morning glow,
Mm-hmm.
which thank God, because that morning was so freaking
cold.
cold.
Yeah.
And then when they were lighting off those big propane fire
Burners.
things,
You want to stand near the
you
balloon.
got a little warmth.
It was nice. You don't even have to get too warm, too close. But boy, that was nice because it was freezing that morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was so beautiful
Yep.
as the sun was rising
Yep.
to see hundreds of balloon burners firing off into the dawn. It was just beautiful.
Yep.
Then we got the balloons up, and so the balloons were starting to glow, candle sticking
Yep.
when they do that with the balloon up. And then the national anthem and flyover, which is just a stunning moment every morning.
Mm-hmm. Because they had done, in that day, they did it was like a crew of special pilots that do special tricks. They had small planes that flew over that morning.
Yeah.
We didn't mention this, but the previous day or two before, they had a full military one where they had jets and helicopters that went. It was just wow, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then the balloons go up. It was just like all this, aviation stuff in one place. It was just really cool.
In preparation for the mass ascension, which they do have an organized schedule and structure on how the balloons go up. But you look up and all of a sudden there's hundreds of balloons up in the air. And it's just
incredible.
Incredible. Yep. So that Saturday morning, a couple of the other events, as we were walking around, we saw the Rainbow Riders, which are the official balloons that take guests up. You can pay to go up. But these baskets, our pig basket had like room for 3 adults, and they're all very carefully on weight restrictions and all. These Rainbow Rider balloon gondolas or baskets, they were huge.
It's like a school bus. They hang.
Yeah.
I've never seen so many people in a basket before.
They had to have like 30 people in there.
I don't know how those
I'm
balloons
not
were.
sure.
I don't know if it was that many, but it sure looked like that.
Oh,
it's incredible.
There were a lot of them. So lots of people
It
got
looked
that
fun.
ride.
I think they all had a great
it
time,
did.
but those baskets were huge.
It was like taking a trolley.
It was. Yep.
So Rainbow Riders lifted off. We went
they
by
did
the Star Wars balloons.
Yeah. And
it was Darth Vader.
Yep.
And Yoda.
Yep.
Yeah.
And better than just that is they had a whole contingent of people that worked on the crew there, and they were all dressed in Star Wars regalia, right?
Stormtroopers, Darth Vader,
exactly,
Princess Leia,
and they were working the crowd. It was just very well done. So we had our team, which were awesome, and some of them, like Kim, were dressed as pigs, flying pigs. So we had, good crew, but boy, the Star Wars crew, they nailed it. They were doing a great job.
Coordinated, very coordinated.
Yeah,
so
cool.
that was cool. And you had all the zebras
running
around.
Yeah, it turns out the controllers, there's a group of people that control when the balloons can and when and where they go up, and they're all wearing the black and white outfits you'll see for referees. And so but they're referred to as zebras because of that. And they have whistles. And so when you hear whistles going on around there, it usually means something's about to happen. Sherry mentioned a second ago that they clear the crowd when they're doing the launch.
Yep.
The zebras actually start that. They back up and they start blowing the whistle, clearing the crowd. And then our crew would have to help start to clear the crowd. And then there's a certain number of whistles that says, okay, it's clear to go. And then the balloon will start to lift off. And then when they lift off, the pilot will hit an air horn, which a few times basically saying we're off kind of thing. And everybody cheers and stuff. But it's cool
Yeah.
because you recognize when you watch one go up, you now know the pattern. You'll hear that pattern over and over and over as zebras are launching balloons over and over.
Yeah.
It's so cool. You hear the same, whistle blowing, you hear crowds, you hear the horn, and then you hear crowds cheering, and another one went up.
Yeah.
And with 500 balloons,
Yeah.
it's a lot of that. It was really cool.
Coordinated.
Yeah.
And they did a full safety check before they authorized the balloon to go, the captain. So that was awesome. But then we did see something.
Yeah.
Because the wind started to pick up.
Yeah. What happened?
Well, we were standing back in the regular shape balloons. The special shapes balloons had not gone. The regular balloons were
Hamlet is a special shape.
Yeah, with all the appendages and tails and anyway. So the wind kind of started to pick up, and we watched this line of balloons inflate in front of us, and they were all kind of jostling
next to each other
and going back and forth. Well, one balloon went up. The one next to it,
they were too close.
Oh yeah,
and
they were
wind,
too close.
Yeah, the wind blew one into the other.
The basket
as one was going up, and the basket rubbed along the side of the balloon fabric of the other one and tore the balloon.
Yeah.
So that balloon just immediately just deflated and collapsed. And so luckily everyone was on the ground of the other balloon, so nobody was injured. It wasn't in the air or something like that.
And the other balloon, they just couldn't push off because of the wind that was
pushing them
blowing them into the neighbor balloon.
And that caused them to basically, right after that, they suspended the flights.
Yep.
So
the
probably
special shapes did not get to go that Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so drama and all kinds of things.
But Saturday wasn't exclusive to the balloons. That was a big day. What else happened on that? It was a super big day.
That was just until 9 o'clock, because then all those balloons that went out were trying to get down and get back to the Balloon Fiesta Park because...
What happened?
Annual solar eclipse.
Annular.
Not
once a year.
Sorry.
So,
Okay, annular solar eclipse.
Yep.
Russ says it's not once in a lifetime, but I'm going to say for us.
For us it is.
My God, it was a once in a lifetime event. So we went back over to the field where Hamlet had launched, and they had got it all put away. And we all sat out there. I mean, tens of thousands of people, and watched this eclipse where the moon shadow came down over the sun. It wasn't a total eclipse, which would have been really weird, but it was a partial eclipse enough that there was still a ring of fire where you saw the solid moon shadow in front of the sun, but you could still see the flames, the aurora, the solar things, flares.
We're the technical show that you come here for. So if you're looking for that, we got all the words
Science.
for you.
Where's Bill Nye when you need him?
That's right. Well, and why this is cool is like the actual path. Albuquerque was in the perfect path for this. So not all the states got to see a full annular eclipse, but where we were in Albuquerque was one of those. And that's why it was a double whammy. We were at this show and we launched the balloon, and basically we laid back and watched the eclipse right after that. I was like, this is just amazing. So
it was incredible.
And who handed out the glasses?
NASA.
Yeah.
Of course, on my shopping day, I'd already picked up 2 pairs of official Balloon Fiesta
paid
Eclipse glasses, $3 a piece.
Never used them.
And then that last day, Saturday, going into the Balloon Fiesta, NASA was handing out 80,000 pairs of Eclipse glasses for everyone in the park.
It was cool.
So it was. And it was so cool. But one of the things was when the moon shadowed the sun, it got cold. It didn't get totally dark because it wasn't a full eclipse, but it did get darker.
Yeah.
And then it was so cold, and you could see it. And through cameras, we had a photographer there. Through the cameras, you could see it.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't a full eclipse because I think the moon was further away, and so that's why it looked smaller, so it couldn't cover the moon. And next year, when it's a full eclipse, the moon will actually be in a different slight orbit, and so it'll be closer, so it will actually cover the complete sun.
Eclipse.
So that was the
in
difference.
April, maybe.
Yeah, so that's why it was an annular solar eclipse.
Yeah.
So that was like an awesome day. And that was Saturday.
That was truly once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so we got to then, after that, go have lunch with the entire crew.
Yep.
And that was a lot of fun at Blake's Lotta Burger, which is like a specialty burger place around Albuquerque.
New Mexico's finest, apparently. That's what we're told.
That's right. It was actually pretty good. We've been
good.
Some burger joints. People say it's the best. It was like, it's not. But this one was actually pretty good. So, Pete, good job. You actually called it. It was good.
Yep.
We actually went there twice while we were there. So.
Yeah.
So, and then we get to say all our goodbyes. It was a lot of fun. But by then, Sunday, it was just like all over, I was exhausted from Wednesday, whatever, but then it was like, oh, it's over.
Yeah.
And we were back on our own, right?
We were on our own again. And we drove, I think, Sunday about 4 hours to Holbrook, Arizona. And the adventure continued.
Yep.
I was very worried about Russ's shoulder and driving. And
it's still kind of messed up.
Yeah, we're going to have that looked at because we're at an age where you don't just shake it off anymore. Now, little things like that require surgery.
I'm going to go for amputation. I want a robot arm.
We'll go get you some bionic parts.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It'll be okay.
It'll be fine. What could go wrong?
Okay.
All right. So, this has been a little bit longer than usual. So I'm going to try to wrap this up. If anyone's still listening, we appreciate you.
We love you.
Yeah, thank you. You've tolerated us. Thank you. So I'm going to try to tie it back to the work-life balance. So part of this was, if you remember, my week started with work and then turned into this fun. So it wasn't all that. You got to figure out how to make that work. And what we did to make this work was know when to work and when you need to actually take vacation. So sometimes we just work through it and we fit life into after hours or on weekends. But this was such a special event that had very early morning and very late. It was not possible, right? Not
such
possible.
An opportunity.
So, and I didn't want to go away and be somewhere else going, man, I wish I would have taken time off. So, we did a good job. We picked the days I should take off, Wednesday through Friday, and we did those vacation days. And that was a very smart call. I'm looking back, looking at the pictures, it was just the best call. So
that was really just 3 vacation days for you.
Yeah, it wasn't a week off. It was just 3 days.
Yeah.
And it felt like a week because it was so exhausting, but it was just 3 days.
God knows what would have happened to you if you'd gone 5 full days.
If you came back with tacos and tequila every day and I was working, I'd be so angry. So, so the second thing is trying to get ready for this big event. Sometimes, we just roll in and do our thing. But this time you had us come in, so we were ready in place by Sunday before this, right?
Yeah, because our Integra event actually started on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But with FMCA, with AIM, with these different events that we do, we need to be in place Sunday. So we were able to make the reservation and get there Sunday to be all set up.
Yeah,
and
so
that is important.
A lot of people roll in just for their event, but because we're working, we're like, no, we're going to roll in early. I did some work, and then we met people at that event, and then we immediately didn't see them for a while because we worked the Albuquerque event.
Yeah.
So that was important. And the last thing is kind of our classic thing. It was really important on this one, though, which is the flexibility that's required to make something like this happen. So we had some times when we thought we were going to do an event at night. We didn't. We came back. We got to power nap before we did the dinner and stuff. So we were flexible to kind of make sure we spent time with our Integra friends and family at the event there. We made sure we showed up when we were supposed to be a crew. It was plan it out, but be flexible when there was changes. Because weather really controls the balloon festival, right?
Yeah.
It's it's in charge, not us.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. Our goal with the RV Work-Life Balance podcast is to share what we're learning to help anyone interested in this crazy adventure of working full-time and traveling and exploring and doing all these wonderful things.
Yeah.
So we're glad you're here.
Yeah. And I want to kind of wrap up with, I really want to thank all the listeners. I made the joke of, if you're still listening, thank you. But seriously, thank you. We really appreciate you listening. We hope this is being helpful. And again, we're going to try to put a lot of these pictures and these other links in the show notes. Take a look at that. We include those show notes for a big reason, because some of the stuff we talk about is hard to imagine until you see it. So check that out, those links there. And if you're brand new here, this is your first podcast,
subscribe.
You're probably amazed by my wife's special effects.
I knew that.
So, it just gets better from here. Go ahead and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We want to thank you.
And to our existing subscribers, we love you. Thank you so much for being part of our journey, part of the adventure. Please be in touch on email or Facebook, or by email. And the most important thing, plan your escape.
Yeah.
Get out here.
Come on out here and join us.
Yep.
This is a lot of fun. So, are you ready?
I am ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.